everyone, my name is Irene Ketikidi and welcome to 5 Things column this month, presented and done by me. So I'm going to base this whole column around some licks taken from my album. So I'm going to start off with an alternate picking idea or think in D Phrygian dominant. Also there's a little excerpt from a scale called Magen Avot, which is of Hebrew origin, and you can feel free to look more into it. But I'm just going to go through that in full speed and then we'll break it down. So what I started doing is 16th notes on the A Magen Avot scale. As you see, it's kind of a symmetric shape, so that's I'm using the same fingers, 2 strings, palm muting and alternate picking. These are all 16th notes. One more time, slow. And then I'm going into D Phrygian dominant mode, which I'm going to play quickly in that first position. I'm starting the shape from the A string and I'm starting playing sextuplets. As you see, what I'm doing is I'm kind of slightly, I have my palm muting happening here, but as I go to the high strings I kind of release it to get the full tone of the notes. And what I haven't said is that this lick is in 5/4, so that means that we've got 5 beats in one bar, so that's why I'm doing. So this is basically one whole bar of a thing. One full bar. And then the next bar has different rhythm groupings. It builds up to 7 notes per beat, or septuplets. So I'm going to do that slow. This is still on the D Phrygian dominant scale, but it's going horizontally on the high E string up until the 22nd fret. So let's see that slowly. So what I'm doing is I'm starting again with a downstroke, because everything is alternate picking, but this time it's not very symmetric, so you've got down, up, down, and then the next group is going to start with an upstroke. But after that group, it's going to go back to a down. So basically, I'm going to start the next one with an up. Now the next one is going to go back to a down again. Up. And my exit note just with downstroke, semitone bend, return, and then just a wide vibrato. Thing number 2 is a riff in the same song, and that's actually what's happening in the background of the lick that I showed you before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be again in 5/4, and I'm going to be using alternate picking and palm muting, as well as different groupings of notes. That's going to be 16ths, 32nds and 8ths with downstrokes and upstrokes, and I've already tuned to drop D. So let's go and hear that in full speed. So we've got quite a lot of action on the right hand. We've got like downstrokes and upstrokes in different combinations. So for that, because it's just quite intricate, just make sure that you check out the tab and look at what the downstrokes and upstrokes are. I'm just going to play the whole thing really slow, and just so you know, we're again in the D Phrygian dominant mode with the addition of a few other notes. For example, the note F, which is from the D minor scale, and also we've got A flat and G added to the harmony. Then we've got a little excerpt from the D minor scale, which is the last thing happening on frets 5, 6, 7 and 5, 7, 8 on 2 low strings. So let's just play the whole thing slow. see, we've got palm muting happening again, and all the 30-second notes, all the fast notes are happening usually in groups of 2, so that is an easy way to remember that whenever you have 2 30-second notes in a row, that's always going to be down up. Thing number 3 is taken from my track Rambler, and that's that idea is going to be in A Dorian, and that's going to be around positions 3 and 4 of that scale. So let's just play those quickly. That was 3, and let's go to 4. Now this idea is featuring legato in odd note groups, so that's going to be 5 quintuplets, so 5 notes per beat, and also we're going to see how to push some more notes into one beat and create some more of an excitement before we go to an exit note. Let me just show you the idea quickly. So what I'm doing is that I'm in position 3, and I'm using the 3 note per string pattern to just play some legato. So this is kind of a full roll because I'm going up and back down without re-picking. So basically every string has 1 downstroke. I'm going to do the same on the next set of strings, which is going to be G and B. But now what I'm going to do is, instead of playing only 3 notes on the B string, I'm going to go up to the next shape and try to add them all together with a slide and with more hammers and pull-offs. Let's see how this works out slow. So again, we've got 1 downstroke in each string, but we're just like rushing some more notes into the beat before we just go to our exit note, which is going to be a bend on the 15th fret of the B string. A few more notes there. These are all in the A minor pentatonic, or still in Dorian, so. And your final note will be the A note on the G string, 14th fret. I'm just going to play the whole thing one more time slow, and watch out for the right hand. Fourth thing would be from my track Martial Arts and Magic Tricks, which is the same as the album title. So this is going to be around F sharp Dorian. I'm just going to play that quickly, position 4. On the way down, I just added the 3 note per string shape as well, which is what we're going to be using. So let me just play that in full speed. Now what this lick uses is mostly legato and also tapping, and what we're going to visualize is sort of a stretchy pentatonic pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down and show you what happens. The first 4 notes are just 16th notes in F sharp Dorian, so it's just pretty simple. First 6 notes actually. And then we go into this odd group of septuplets, really, because it's 7 notes. So what I'm doing here is I'm only picking the first note and then hammering 2 more, then tapping 1, tapping off to pull off again 3 notes. So that's part of the lick. And then what happens is we skip a string, so we also got skipping here, and we go to the G string with left hand tapping. Now that means that basically we're not really picking, we're just using our little finger to hammer on that note. This one is on the 14th fret. And then again we've got a different odd group here. It's 9 notes this time, or 10. Check out the tab for that. So let's see how that sounds. So this is what's happening, this is hammering. And all together would be... These are 2 beats. So we've got 7 plus 9 notes, 2 beats. Then we're going to slide down and use a 3-note per string version of the modes. And again, we're going to skip a string. So... Let me just play the whole thing together from where it starts so that you can have a feel. So we've got... This again is a septuplet, so 7 notes. So we've got legato, again left hand tapping. Pull off. And this is pretty straightforward, 3 notes. And our exit note. Let me just play everything from top really slow. Final thing, number 5, is a Lydian, and that's going to be from my track likewise. So what this is going to employ is string skipping and also some wider intervals while moving from position to position. We're going to be using, well, not using, but just like moving around 3 positions of a Lydian. This is going to be positions 3, 2, 3, and 4. Let me just play that in full speed. So that's, as you see, I'm playing on strings D and B for the first part of it, and it's almost like I'm thinking about an octave, but just that, rather than playing the octave, I'm just adding the next note of the scale and then approaching the octave. So that's what I'm doing in most of them, and sliding down to the previous octave. So, but adding also the next note of the scale on the D string. So let's do that slow. Then we go to the next set of strings, which is G and B, and we've got intervals of a perfect fourth there. Frets 9, 10, also 11, 12. Let's see how this connects with the previous octave. Back to an octave here. We're going to have the same sort of shape. Again, we're going up the A Lydian scale, so make sure you follow the tab, because what we're doing is we're using perfect fourths and octaves to just go up the scale. One of them, however, is not a perfect fourth. When we go up to the last one, that's going to be a sharp 4 or a flat 5 if you like, and it's going to look like that. So essentially I've got only a perfect fourth here, perfect fourth and octave here, same thing here and here. The only difference would be sharp 4. Let's just do that whole thing slow. I added the exit note, which is on the 16th fret of the high E string, and that's a 1.5 whole tone bend, so basically 3 frets up. Let me just do the whole thing slow so you see how it connects. But the idea is that you want to control your right hand with skips, because you've got some notes happening on adjacent strings, some of them happening on well, with one string in between them not being used. So let's hear the whole thing slow. I hope you've enjoyed all these licks for this month's 5 Things column. Practice, 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 and enjoy. Thank you.